Brutal Barracuda, a Sniper Elite channel.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So we just had our first proper update for Sniper Elite Resistance, which deals with a lot of the bugs and issues that have emerged since launch. Now most of them are minor issues really, like collision bugs, various texture issues, floating assets, that sort of thing, and not a lot really worth talking about honestly. But something that is very much worth talking about are the 3 new maps that have arrived in the game. Now we'll get onto the maps in a minute. First I just want to talk about a few of the changes that have come, or not as the case may be, with this new update. So first up then, let's talk about the kill list challenges. So 2 of the kill list challenges were bugged. We had the coal torpedo on mission 6 and the poison on mission 7. So regarding the coal torpedo on mission 6, there has been no mention of a fix in the patch notes, but sometimes Rebellion don't always add all of the fixes to the patch notes. It wouldn't be the first time they've left some out. So I tested this myself to see if it has been fixed. Now the problem that we had was if you alerted the kill list target before you managed to set the trap and kill him, he will never activate the trap. He will just keep walking around in a loop. Now you can still complete this challenge, you just need to restart the mission and sneak in, set the trap, never get spotted, and then it would work. But I can in fact confirm that there has been no fix implemented as of yet. I tested it a couple of times by alerting the target and then waiting for the all clear, but he still walks around in his little loop and never activates the trap. So we are still waiting for a fix on this one. Next we have the kill list target on mission 7 that requires poisoning. This one is mentioned as being fixed in the patch notes, and after testing it I can confirm that it works, at least it did for me. I went in blasting, killed everybody except for the kill list target, poisoned his drink, and after the all clear he goes and drinks the poison, no problem. The second time I tested it, I snuck in, waited for all the conversations to finish. I then waited about 10 minutes before poisoning the drink, and again he come and drunk it, worked fine, no problems. Now I only tested this twice, but it did work both times for me. So if you was having issues with this particular mission, then it should now be resolved, so you can go ahead and get that done. And according to the patch notes, there was an issue with the kill list target on mission 3, with the kill target leaving the kill area. Apparently now this has also been fixed. I did a quick test and I did manage to get him to leave the kill area, but every time he would go back to where he was supposed to be. So yeah, I don't remember ever having an issue with this kill target, but if you did, then that now appears to be fixed as well. Speaking of fixes not being added to the patch notes, another fix is on mission 3. As the invader, you were able to kill the French Resistance NPCs. Here you can see what it was like before the patch. Pretty funny really, but this has now been fixed. This was also the case when playing Sniper Elite 5 when it first came out, as you can see here, although that was also fixed in a later patch as well. Now though, when you approach the NPCs, you no longer get any kind of prompt appear and you can no longer shoot them either. So yeah, we can no longer kill the French Resistance. I have no idea whether or not this messed up the mission for the allied player, but either way, it's no longer an issue. We also have a couple of fixes regarding the Kar98 rifle. So the patch notes mention weapon unlock issues resolved for the Kar98. I think this is to do with the pre-order bonus. I think some people that pre-ordered the game and should have had access to the Kar98 for some reason were in fact unable to gain access to it. Personally, I never pre-ordered the game, so I don't have access to it anyway, but I think that's what this is referring to. If you pre-ordered Sniper Elite Resistance and had issues unlocking the Kar98, let me know in the comments, and let me know if this patch fixed the problem. Another fix involving the Kar98 was players were unable to pick up this particular rifle after it being dropped by the enemy. But as you can see here, it now seems to be working just fine. Another change that has been implemented is Harry's contextual dialogue has been reduced to make him less chatty, and thank Christ for that. We can now enter long grass without Harry telling us how itchy it is every time. In fact, I did some testing and he hasn't mentioned the grass once yet, so this seems to have been drastically reduced, which is great news. It was pretty annoying the way Harry would just chat shit far too often, but this change will not affect any mission specific dialogue, only the guff. A few multiplayer fixes have also been implemented. An issue with players being able to roll out of the no-cross map has apparently been fixed, along with an issue that allows players to still shoot after being killed in multiplayer. There's been lots of fixes on all the campaign missions, multiplayer maps and survival maps. I'm not going to go through every little thing, but I will leave a link in the description to the full patch notes if you'd like to read through every single fix. What I do want to talk about though is the 3 new maps that have been added to the game. So first up, we've received a new no-cross map, which was desperately needed as the game only shipped with a single map for no-cross. This one is called Alpine Gorge and takes place on Mission 4's collision course, and I gotta say, I much prefer this one over the Riverfront map, so I'm very happy with this. Unfortunately though, that is where the happiness ends as far as the maps go, because up next is the free multiplayer map for Team Deathmatch, Free-for-All and Squad Match called Alpine Resort, not to be confused with the Alpine Gorge that I just showed you. Now if you think this map looks familiar, that's because it's been ripped straight out of Sniper Elite 5. You remember Sniper Elite 5, don't you? The game we were still playing just 3 weeks ago. Yes, we've been given the same map we were playing just 3 short weeks ago. The same map that we've been playing for almost 3 years in this brand new game. This was a full-priced game, so where are the new maps? Now I know exactly what some people will say. Why are you moaning? It's free. But it's not the price that bothers me, it's the cheek of it. Rebellion have tried to convince us that Sniper Elite Resistance is worthy of its own release, instead of just a Sniper Elite 5 expansion, which I believe it should have been. And then they go adding a Sniper Elite 5 map so soon after launch. Now I don't have an issue with legacy maps from previous Sniper Elites being added to the game. If they reworked and added some Sniper Elite 4 maps, that would have been cool. Maybe even some Sniper Elite V2 or Sniper Elite 3 multiplayer maps. But a map we were playing 3 weeks ago, we might as well just play Sniper Elite 5 if we want to play Alpine Resort, because the multiplayer in these 2 games is identical, let's not forget. I honestly consider this a bit of an insult. This is lazy bullshit that we should not tolerate. But that's not all. We have a new survival map. And guess what? It's another copy and paste from Sniper Elite 5 because Rebellion don't seem to give a shit. At least that's certainly how it feels. Here they've added the pest control survival map and haven't even bothered to switch up the command post locations, with all of the operations being identical. This game already felt pretty budget because of the fact that it uses so much from Sniper Elite 5 with nothing new except propaganda missions, and the less said about those, the better. We wouldn't stand for it if Rebellion copied and pasted campaign missions. Can you imagine if Sniper Elite 5's War Factory showed up as one of Sniper Elite Resistance's campaign maps? We would have lost our shit. We wouldn't stand for it in the campaign, so why the hell should we stand for it in multiplayer and survival? Rebellion took your 50 quid, or your 80 quid, or whatever the hell you paid for the deluxe edition, and in just 3 weeks they've already recycled 2 maps from Sniper Elite 5 instead of giving you new maps. 2 maps we were playing whilst waiting for this game to come out. And there are bound to be people out there all like, but we did get a new no-cross map. Well, I should bloody hope so. The game only shipped with 1 no-cross map in the first place, which is an utter joke. This new no-cross map was probably removed from the game in the first place prior to launch, just so they could give it back to us for free later, just so we think we're getting something free when we aren't. This update really has rubbed me the wrong way, in case you couldn't tell. And I'm starting to think that maybe the players out there that are calling this game nothing but a cash grab, maybe they were right all along. But I don't want to think like that. But that is absolutely the vibe I'm getting. I honestly cannot believe Rebellion had the nerve to do this after charging full price for this game. If you've never played Sniper Elite 5 before and came straight to Resistance, then yeah, it's great. Free stuff. But if you're a player who's come from 5 to Resistance, you should be fuming. You paid full price for a brand new Sniper Elite game, unless of course you got it from Game Pass, and they're already giving us Sniper Elite 5 maps that we were playing 3 weeks ago whilst waiting for this game to come out. It's a joke. I honestly believe this could have been, should have been, and likely was going to be a Sniper Elite 5 expansion before Rebellion decided, hang on a second, we can rinse our fan base a little bit more if we release this as its own game. I know I've said before that I don't mind paying for Sniper Elite Resistance if it's going to help fund Sniper Elite 6, but Christ, I didn't think we'd be paying that money just to get the same maps we've been playing for the last 3 years. We have got to let Rebellion know that this kind of behaviour is not acceptable, or this sort of shit is going to keep happening. Man, what has happened? When you take a step back and look at the Sniper Elite series as a whole, it's just, what the fuck is happening right now? It angers me so much. Go back a few years to Sniper Elite 4 and the franchise was in such a great place. Sniper Elite 4 was the best Sniper Elite yet by a long way. Each game was getting better and better. The series was going from strength to strength. Sniper Elite 5 had just been announced. Sniper Elite fans had every reason to be happy and excited. Then Sniper Elite 5 comes out. And it's good, you know, it's fun, but it's got its problems and it upsets a few fans. Then Sniper Elite Resistance comes out, which many fans are not happy about. Everything is reused from Sniper Elite 5 and now we're getting fully recycled maps. And I get angry. I get angry because I actually give a shit about Sniper Elite. It's my favourite gaming series and it pains me to see that it's slowly going down the shitter. They need to stop giving us Sniper Elite 5 maps so damn early into the release of a new Sniper Elite. We deserve new maps after paying full price for this game. Man, I am honestly just so worried about the future of Sniper Elite at this point. You have no idea just how concerned I am for Sniper Elite 6. It could very well be the final nail in Sniper Elite's coffin for me if Rebellion don't turn it around. I honestly feel as though this ship is taking on water and is going to sink at any moment. Now I'm going to stop here because this video has just turned into me having a bit of a whinge, a bit of a moan, a bit of a cry about it. But please do let me know in the comments how you feel about the fact that we're getting 2 recycled maps from Sniper Elite 5 just 3 weeks into a brand new Sniper Elite game. For me, it just further cements the idea that Sniper Elite Resistance should have just been a Sniper Elite 5 expansion all along. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. It really does help the channel to grow. This is a dedicated Sniper Elite channel, so hit the subscribe button to be kept up to date on all things Sniper Elite. And I will see you guys in the next video!
Brutal Barracuda, a Sniper Elite channel.